Larry. This is day 4 of the 30-day Leetcode challenge. Yeah, if you haven't seen the previous 3, well, check them out. The links and playlists and stuff like that. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit all the buttons you like. Today we're going to do move 0. Let's take a look. Move zeros. Given an array nums, write a function to move all zeros to the end of it while maintaining the relative order of the non-zero elements. You must do this in place without making a copy of the array. Minimize the total number of operations. Okay. Uh, okay. So I think one thing that's always a little bit weird is all these in place ones. I mean, I think maybe for move 0 makes sense. I always not a fan of move place problem, in place problems. Sorry, um, only because in general, if you're unless you're doing like really specific performance needing things on your job, you probably don't need to do things in place. You rather keep the code clean. You have to, you want your functions to not have side effects as much as possible and stuff like that. So for that, I always find those problems a little bit weird, especially if you like. It's clear that they want you to do it that way for like a efficiency performance reason, right? Yeah, but that's just my opinion. But this one should be pretty okay. What I would there are a couple of ways to do it. There's probably and you may even try to minimize the number of passes through the array. I think it's okay. I think in this one you just need to move the zeros. So basically you have two type of numbers in this case, just 0 and non-zero, right? And then from that, because all the zeros are the same, they're fungible, you could say. Uh, we can just yeah, keep track of the number of zeros, and then you could use. It's kind of I want to say it's similar to the two-finger algorithm, though it's a little. The two-finger algorithm is also the what's it called? The sliding window algorithm, but which is not technically true, but that's not the case for here. But you do have pointers in places, and you just have to keep track, and that's how I would do it. Uh, so this format's also a little weird because I have to scroll up and down to see the problem, um, versus like the vertical divide in the middle, which allows me to look at the problem at the same time as I'm typing. But yeah, but I think this is pretty straightforward though. In terms of understanding the problem. The problem is a little tricky. So now we start with, yeah, 0 is 0. For num and nums, if num is 0, 0, then we just increment. We also need another pointer of, well, so if we didn't have to do this in place, well, obviously there are a lot of other things we could have done in place. So what I'm almost naturally want to do is just have like an array that's like the results array, and then well, this is just increment, and then else results dot append. This is not the what they want, but I'm just showing what I would have done, and then results dot append something like you know what's it called? Oh, zeros. So this is not going to work because they I think they checked they check the nums array anyway. But this would, in theory, be what I would do if I want to do it in a more functionally programmed way, and that no side effects and so forth. But obviously they want to have it in place. So you kind of, well, okay, now I have this solution and I have to convert it to in place. Can I convert it in place? And yeah, there's just this is an implicit counter on the size of the array, and then size of the dynamic array, and then incrementing it, right? So we could definitely emulate that. So we just have to do, I don't know, variable naming is hard. And array, maybe you do better with the naming, but and then here we just do nums and as you go to num and array increment 1, and then at the end we do okay, well, for I think it doesn't matter then. is not what we're going to use. If you're really good at Python, leave a comment on how you could have, how you could do this better. I mean, I'm going to do it this way. I know that you could have, if I had put a variable here, we could just added it, but well. And then I think that's it. All right, well, let's give it a go. Okay. Let's try some edge cases, as we always should do as a good engineer, or try to be a good engineer, as they say. Now I'm just typing some random stuff, but okay, well, that looks good enough for me, or I'm convinced. Maybe try negative numbers. I don't know if the input constraints. I don't, well, in this case, the negative numbers wouldn't really matter, but in theory, maybe play around because we don't do really operations on it. Cool, accepted. Yeah. I mean, this is actually a reasonable interview question without the in-place part. The in-place part, as I said, I always have a bias against it, to be honest. So maybe that's just me. But I think as an interview question, this is actually more reasonable than the previous 3 days. I think this is like it requires thinking, it requires putting something away, and it's kind of like sorting, but not really. And it's something that I mean, I don't know is I don't think I've seen obviously. Well, maybe it's not obvious, but I don't think I've done a move zero type thing in my career. But I have done things where you have to sort different things and move things to the back, and you know, though for those cases, n is usually small enough that we don't have to worry about linear time or anything like that. But in theory, so yeah. Oh, well, yeah, I dig this poem. And that's all I have for today. Hopefully, see you tomorrow, and bye bye. Have a good weekend.